Hello everyone. Now we are going to start with our chapter number 7, unit number 3. The topic name is Object Oriented Design Concept. We are going to see here the design classes. So basically, what is the object oriented design concepts? So object oriented design concept basically consists of the object oriented such as it is nothing but the combination of the objects through which you are going to access your elements of your class, or through this object you are going to implement the methods of your class. So there are three different type of classes, such as the entity classes, boundary classes, and the control classes. So what is the entity classes? First of all, we will see analysis classes are refined using during design to become the entity classes, or we can say as the entity object represent the persistent information tracked by the system. So whatever the information is tracked by your system is defined by your entity classes. Now the next class is the boundary classes. These are developed during design to create the interface, such as interactive screen or printed reports that the user sees and interact with as the software is used. The boundary classes are designed with the responsibility of managing the way entity objects are represented to the user. So basically, the boundary objects represent the interactions between the actors and the system. If we take the example of the teacher and the student, then here who are the actor is nothing but, suppose we take the actor is here the student, and the system the teacher who is going to teach to the student. So the boundary classes is an interface between your student and the teacher. The next one is the controller classes are designed to manage the creation or updation of the entity object. The instantiation of a boundary objects as they obtain information from entity objects, complex communication between sets of the objects, validation of a data communicated between objects or between the user and the application. That is, control objects are in charge of realizing use cases. So what are the control objects here? So control object is the one who are going to schedule your timetable, the one who are going to check you are coming on the time or not, you are attending the lecture properly or not, whatever the data is updated of the student, such as its exam, the date of the exam, the time of the exam, is student given the exam uh, for the between the specified time or not. So this is all your control classes. The boundary classes is the interface. So in our example, the interface is teacher teaches to the student, or the student learning from the teacher. So this is the boundary classes. Your entity is nothing but your teacher and your student, and it consists of some attributes, such as the teacher have the teacher id, its department name, as like student have the student name, student roll number, student percentage. So these are the design classes. There are the different type of again, such as the inheritance. So inheritance are all the responsibilities of a superclass is immediately inherited by the all subclasses. So we will elaborate the concept of inheritance in our classes with one example, such as if we take the example of your superclass and the subclass. So whatever the properties your superclass have, that will be inherited by your subclass. Next are the messages, that is simulate some behavior to occur in the receiving objects. So messages are nothing but transferring the data or transferring information between one class to another class, such as for the students, we are going to I am going to take your lecture at the time. Then after that, student will say that we are ready to attend the lecture. So these are the messages. And polymorphism is a characteristic that greatly reduces the effort required to extend the design, such as that is nothing but the ability to having more than one form. If I am teaching the two subject to the same class at a time, if I said that tomorrow you will have your test one, so student will get confused that the test one is of which subject. It is the subject which I am teaching for the first semester, or if I am teaching the two subjects at a time, so they will get the confusion that exactly what subject test they are going to completed or they are going to conduct. So this is the concept of the polymorphism. Now next one we will see the design model. So the design model basically consists of the analysis, design, implement, evaluate or develop. So this is your design model. The design model basically consists of the different type of elements, such as the design elements. We can say that the design elements are there, or the design modeling elements. So design modeling elements are the data elements, architectural elements, interface elements, components element and deployment element. We are going to elaborate one by one in detail. First one is your data elements. So what is your data elements? So these are the data models, consist of the data structure or the database architectures. So what is the design elements then? So like other software engineering activities, the data design or refers to as a data architecture create a model of a data or information that is represented at a high level of abstraction. So this data model is then refined into progressively more implementation specific representation that can be processed by the computer based system. So what is your data elements are? The data elements is nothing but whatever the data you are collecting, such as if there are the huge databases and they will create some collective data warehouses where they store the data which is frequently used during your implementation. So the data warehouse is what is your data design element during your implementation. So next one is the architecture element. We will see what is the architecture element. The architectural model is derived from the three sources, such as the information about the application domain for the software to be built, that is at what domain or in what domain you are going to build your application, such as if it is a web based application, then whatever the project you are going to implement, you should need to have the access to all the or the multiple users who are going to use your web app or web application which is created by the you, or specific requirements model elements such as a data flow diagram or analysis classes, their relationship and collaboration for the problem at hand, and the availability of a architecture pattern and the style. We will see these in next lecture. So basically what is your architecture element? The architecture is elements are whatever the elements you are going to display. If we take suppose for example that is the user login form, then what is the architecture elements? They should need to be easy, or they should be easy to visible for your registered user or the user who are going to register for on your page. So the architecture elements such as the user, on left hand side you will say that enter your login name or enter your password and submit. So this is the simple example of your architecture element. Now next one is the interface element. So what is the interface element? We will see here the figure is for the representation for the control panel. So here basically we are going to see here it represent three classes. One is the control panel, second one is a wireless PDA, and third one is a mobile phone. So what is your control panel? So control panel is the name of your class. It consists of some attributes and it consists of some methods. So attributes are LCD display, LED, indicators, keypad, characteristics, speaker, wireless interfaces, and some methods are read keystroke, decode key, display status, light LEDs, and send control messages. And the next classes are wireless PDA and mobile phone. So here the main thing is what is the interface element. So interface element, I say it as there is an interface between your student and the teacher, that is teacher teaches to the student, or student is learning from your teacher. So this is the interface between your teacher and the student. So likewise the control panel classes provides the behavior associated with the keypad, and therefore it must implement operation, that is read keystroke or decode key. If these operations are to be provided to other classes such as your wireless PDA and mobile phones, it is useful to define an interface as shown in your figure, such as the interface keypad. The name is keypad and it is denoted by the interface symbol, that is the stereotype, or as a small labeled circle connected to the class with a line. So the interface is defined with no attributes and the set of operations that are necessary to achieve the behavior of a keypad. So the dash line with an open triangle at its end, see here, it indicates that the control panel class provides keypad operation as part of its behavior. That is, your control panel provides a keypad as a behavior such as the read keystroke and the decode keystroke. So control panel classes provides keypad operation as a part of its behavior. So this is characterized as a realization that is part of the behavior of your control panel will be implemented by realizing keypad operation. So these operations will be provided to other classes that access the interface. So here the interface between your control panel, the interface is between your control panel and the keypad. The same interface can be used for your keypad, so through which you can read the keystroke or you can decode the keystroke. So this is your interface elements. Now next one is a component element. So we will see what is the component element. So here we are watching this is sensing components. The sensing components basically consist of the noise sensors. It consists of the data retrieval and processing daemon and air pollution sensors, parser, filter and reverse geocoding. And this is the Redis. For the Redis, now you are going to provide the sensor components. So what is the sensor components? Whatever you inputs is provided by user, it will check it is the noise sensors. That after that it will check that the components are, is the sensor is your air pollution. If it is air pollution, then provide it for your retrieval and processing of a daemon, that is remove all your noise or remove all your air pollution, that is nothing but your passers. And after that you can filter your voice and you can send it for your reverse coding. So next one is a deployment element. So what is the deployment element in this? So deployment element here, this is the deployment diagram of which will show you here is the communication between the user system and your appliances control. So what is the user? User first of all log into the system. If the login is correct, then user can store data in the system, user can authorize its access, or user can check its status information, that is about its stored data, that is data is stored or data is committed, data is aborted. So this is all between the user and the system. If the user want to check its some appliances control, then also it can check it by changing the status, such as I want to select some appliances. Through that it will change the control of a user to the appliances controller and the some deployments as appliance information and appliance status. After that, once your status is updated, again the updated information is sent to your system, which will update your information in your authorized access and your status information. So this is all the deployments elements of your uh, um, uh, deployment elements. Now if we take the example of the student and here is a teacher, then student will say the teacher that may I come in the classroom. If the teacher authorizes, student can attend the lecture, student can write the notes, or student can record your lecture. And after that this is the all the process of your student, and the teacher is teaching to your student. If the student can only come for the attendance, then it can say that my attendance is not done. So teacher can only give the attendance, it will update in your attendance sheet. And so this is the overall your deployment diagram of your object oriented classes. So this is the end of our chapter number 7 of unit number 3. We will see next part in our next lecture. Hope that your all concepts will get clear. Thank you.